Greetings, my friends. I am Victor Van Doomcock, the future ruler of Earth, and I am here today to pay tribute to a brilliant trailer that promises an intense cinematic event come October of 2019. I am, of course, referring to the brilliant, haunting, and evocative trailer that was posted for the Joker movie. I believe that this may be the first superhero movie to be nominated for Best Picture on the basis of its genius rather than the basis of its political agenda. I am going to present you now with my in-depth analysis of this trailer with some key screenshots to illustrate my points. And these are presented in the spirit, of course, of fair use. In the opening, we have a shot of Joaquin Phoenix as Arthur, a man who is obviously undergoing some kind of counseling. And in just one shot, without any dialogue whatsoever, you can see by the expression on his face that he is very troubled. And when he looks up and tries his best to smile, we can see that this is going to be a very nuanced performance, the likes of which was very common in the films of auteurs like Coppola, Scorsese, and De Palma. Right here we see that the Joker promises to be that rarest and most elusive of treasures, a comic book movie where the acting reigns supreme. This promises to be a character study much along the lines of Scorsese's epic classic film, Taxi Driver. That is the vibe that I repeatedly got off of this trailer as I watched it. That here is a man balanced on the knife's edge between sanity and madness, between acceptance and violence, and it would take only the merest nudge of a prevailing breeze to tip him off the knife's edge and into the waiting hands of a merciless fate. Throughout the trailer, we see this long stairway knifing up through the heart of the city. And in the opening, we see Arthur trudging up those stairs. It is a long, hard slog up those damn stairs, and we can see that it weighs heavily on him. I think that this is a metaphor, my friends, a metaphor for his walk through life. As long as he is trying to get along, as long as he is trying to conform, as long as he is trying to survive on the terms of the city, it is an uphill battle all the way. Look at this shot of him walking through the streets. Could you imagine this in a Martin Scorsese movie? Of course you could. This is right out of Taxi Driver. Look at this image. He's a man walking the mean streets of a city that threatens and rejects him. Right away, DC is signaling that this is not going to be your normal comic book movie. He walks a lonely road. And in this trailer, it is suggested that his only emotional support, his only human contact really of any kind of intimacy, is with his mother. Here he is seen bathing her, and so the nature of that relationship is in question, as once again the work of another auteur, Alfred Hitchcock, is evoked in this trailer as Arthur is compared to Norman Bates with his mother. Theirs is clearly an unhealthy relationship with romantic overtones that are wholly inappropriate between a mother and her son. All of these pressures are weighing down on the man who will shortly become the clown prince of crime. Here we see Arthur degraded. We see him forced to dress up as a clown as fate rehearses him for the role for which he has been born. He is abused on the street. He is beaten. His sign is broken. He is assaulted. And more pressure is put on this poor man. With each of these indignities, the pressure on Arthur mounts. And we see a number of shots extremely evocative of Travis Bickle in Taxi Driver, as Travis Bickle gets more and more pushed to the edge by all the madness and the loneliness, breeding paranoia and resentment in his mind. We see this man training for something. Working towards something. He doesn't know what. But we're about to see that in this trailer, as instead of a mohawk and sunglasses, Arthur dons the very disguise of the clown that had humiliated him, embracing the humiliation and taking that to the edge and beyond, as he becomes the very thing that pushed him past the edge of endurance. The filmmakers cleverly employ the Jimmy Durante sentimental favorite smile to track the degradation of Arthur as he descends into madness. We see him in Arkham Asylum. We see him standing next to a madman thrashing in his restraints. His is an ugly world. His is a violent world. His is a lonely world. And these are the ingredients that go into the making of a monster. Just as Travis Bickle is a product of the streets that drove him to violence, so too is the Joker the product of all the pressures exerted on him in his sad, miserable life. There is a conflict in Arthur. He is told by his mother to smile, and he is told by the world to scream. And under such contradictory instructions, what is the poor man to do but both? That's why the use of Smile by Jimmy Durante is so perfectly apt and chilling in this trailer, and it is indicative of the thought and care that is going into the crafting of this movie. I find it very significant that in this trailer we see Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker sporting the Cesar Romero costume from the 1966 series Batman. While this is not suggesting in any way that this film is contained in the canon of Batman 1966, or that it incorporates Batman 66 into its canon, nevertheless, it betrays an awareness of the traditions of Batman and a refreshing respect from the filmmakers for the traditions of Batman, an awareness of the fandom and a love of the genre. So that even as they deviate from the genre to give us something much deeper than your typical comic book movie, nevertheless, they are aware of what they are doing. They are not merely blundering and making their own thing because they have faith in it, because they're artists, because they know better. They are fully aware of the genre conventions, they are fully aware of the traditions of Batman, and their deviation is going to incorporate that and be respectful, take it and make it something even better, in the proud tradition of Alan Moore, who specializes in this kind of thing, and his killing joke remains in my mind the greatest Batman story ever told. All in all, I have a deep and abiding love for this trailer. I think that it is superb, and I absolutely cannot wait to see this thing when it opens in October. I have a feeling that this is going to be the Cobra Kai of cinema. In the same way that Cobra Kai amplified and continued the proud tradition of the Karate Kid films, I think that the Joker is going to transform the Batman universe and quite possibly take comic book movies to a place of artistic integrity that they have never gone before. This is going to be a comic book character study, something I'm not entirely sure we've ever seen before. I think that this is going to be an epic film. I think it is going to rattle the pop culture scene in a much needed way. Perhaps if the Joker is a blockbuster, these studios will start to see that there is value in quality. There is a market for excellence instead of mere woke propaganda and bullshit agenda politics. This film may change the landscape in 2019. In a much, much needed way. From the center of the earth, this is Dictor Van Doomcock asking you all, my friends, why so serious?